you can be whatever you wish to be as long as in your public values you conform to what are universal values. And we have to respectfully interrogate that and to say, on what basis can a secular society generate universals anyway? What is the philosophical basis for saying certain ethical principles are universal? You can do it with a religious worldview, any religious worldview, quite elegantly. But a secular ethic is something much more difficult to sustain. Individuals can do it coherently. To say that these things are universal is much more tricky. And that's one of the challenges for the Muslim Ummah. We're endlessly being browbeaten with demands to conform to what are said to be universal values. But it's interesting to look into the origins of these so-called values. The Universal Declaration of Human Rights, and much of it from an Islamic point of view is perfectly unexceptionable. The chief drafter of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights was somebody called Charles Malik, who was a Maronite nationalist lawyer who wrote the thing for the UN after the Second World War. And that same Charles Malik wrote a number of quite pungent books about Islam's incapacity to assimilate to the modern world because it rejected the Mu'tazilites. And he also founded several right-wing Maronite nationalist organizations in the Lebanon, including the Falangist militia that ended up massacring the Palestinians at Sabra and Shatila. That's an irony that we should think about. The author of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights also founded the Christian militia that burst into the Palestinian refugee camps with images of the Virgin Mary taped to their rifle butts and massacred 3,000 people. There is something there that is a lesson to us, because it is not clear how, from a secular perspective, you can actually generate universals. So we will respectfully shake our heads at that point when the demand for compliance is angrily brandished at us. We say, well, lakum dinukum waliya din. We have our way of life, we're happy with it, we're not going to interfere with your way of life. This is something very significant.